Hello, hello. It is February 11th, and today I am here to talk to you about the art of mastering your time. I feel like over the course of this year, I have become really good at learning how to maximize my day. And not only that, but really hit the marks on time. And I think that there's a difference between, being good about being in a routine and really getting to that point where you almost feel like you are this master of your day. And I think that the biggest thing that it really comes down to is how you deal with your time. And so my goal today is to really talk about some things that I've learned and how I've been able to apply them into a really meaningful way to really make me feel like I'm winning at my day. So the first thing that I have learned is about the fact that, you can't just like turn on the switch and all of a sudden decide that you're going to be a morning person and all of a sudden you're just going to get up at the crack of dawn and expect that that routine is just going to stick like that. So if you're somebody who has committed to this idea of you're going to get up super early in the morning, great. I encourage you to do that. I'm a huge fan of the morning. I get so much done in the morning. But, if it's something where you need to start to make adjustments or, to give yourself a little time to adjust to a new schedule, I encourage you to do it in a way that allows for you to be successful. Sometimes that's about backing up the time a little bit at a time. And sometimes maybe it's like so many days a week that you're going to do that and until it becomes more comfortable for you so that it's not day after day. If you're in that space of always doing it in this like all or nothing mentality, what's going to happen is you're going to set yourself up for failure. So the first thing is that I am a morning person, and so I do really like to start my day very early. Don't get scared. Don't run away. Don't turn this video off because I'm going to tell you when my day starts, because what works for me isn't necessarily what's going to work for you, but the principles remain the same. So bear with me as I say the scary time that I wake up at 4:40 in the morning. Now I do that because there have been things that over time I've decided are really important to start my day, but I already had a morning routine that started in the early 5 o'clock hour. And so I had to adjust myself over the last few months to add in these extra minutes that are really important to how I start my day. My alarm goes off at 4:40. And I have a series of things that I do at home that, like I said, I added into my morning. The first one is a very simple 10 minutes where I'm taking care of myself because I do have some medical issues with my eyes. And it requires that I get up and I put on an eye mask and I sit for 10 minutes. So fine, I do that. And it allows for me to ease in those first 10 minutes and kind of accept the fact that I'm getting up for the day. 4:50, I get up, I put on my clothes, I wash my face, and I come out, I let the dog out, and then I sit down and get ready for a priming meditation. And for me, this was the extra time that I had carved out. It's 15 minutes in the morning, and it allows for me to do a little gratitude practice, kind of really set myself energetically for the day as somebody who is ready to give and serve and put on as much positivity as I possibly can find to be able to be in my best state for others and for myself. And also visualization. I've become a huge fan of really being able to, see what it is I want, and I'm working extra to really start to manifest what I want in my life and the energy that I want to surround it. So I start my day really strong, starting with my head before anything. But I also had a gym routine, and this was my me time where I find that it is a non-negotiable for me to be able to really get my day going. So after I'm done with my priming, I get up and I go to the gym. By 6:30, I'm home and I'm ready to, start my day, getting my kids ready for school and so on and so forth. So the day starts early for me, and that's okay if it's not what works for you. You have to find what is best. But I know for me that if I don't do those things first, they never get done. So I have to get them done early, and I have to get them done with that forced intention to make sure that I'm really selfish about that time, because without it, I know that the only person who's going to suffer for that is me. So once the kids are off to school and I'm kind of like dressed, getting ready for work, I do sit down and I take about 20 minutes to take a look at what I have on my calendar and, and assess what have I accounted for, what have I not accounted for, and what are the things that have the flexibility to shift if need be. So getting really clear about your day is really, really important to having success in your day. Understanding how much time things take and being realistic about it too. And I think that's one thing that over time I've really also begun to understand, is that if you are intentional of how much time you're going to spend in a meeting, on a call, having any kind of coffee or, face-to-face with somebody, if you are able to get really clear about how much time you plan to spend and you really hold yourself accountable to that as much as humanly possible, you have so much more control of your day than if you allow conversations and other people to dictate how long something's going to take. So I really encourage that, those things become part of how you approach your day. So get really clear with the things that you need to accomplish and how much time you're carving out for them. If you feel you need to add some cushion, add some cushion. If there's drive time involved, make sure realistically how long it's going to take you to get from A to B. If you live in a traffic city like I do, you have to make sure that you're being realistic about that. The one thing that I learned growing up was that if you're on time, you're already late, right? I'm a 5 minutes early kind of person, and I get really stressed out if I find myself creeping up on being exactly on time, or 2 minutes later, 5 minutes late, I'm already feeling like I'm behind, I've missed my mark, I am holding somebody else up, I'm not respecting somebody else's time. And, all of a sudden there's a lot of stressful feelings that go along with being late, or, not getting where I need to be, or not doing what I need to do. So really, getting clear, being honest about time, and also being super respectful with your time. So, the more you become respectful with your time, the more other people are going to respect it. So here's a great tip that I learned that I think is really awesome for, having meetings with people, especially when you're the one they're coming to because there are problems to be solved. Have a time frame. Whether that is 15 minutes for you, whether that's 20 minutes for you, or 30 minutes, I would recommend that, unless it's really necessary, that it be longer than that, to try to keep it to those smaller time frames. When somebody's going to come and have a conversation with you because they want your advice about something that is wrong, or a problem that they're having, something in the workplace, whatever it may be, don't allow them to come with just the problem. Have them come with 3 solutions, right? It's not our job as somebody who is trying to guide or lead or give advice to come up with maybe all the answers. Maybe you have a vision to be able to tweak something. Maybe you see something really clearly and you can offer suggestions. But I assure you that your conversation will get where you want to go so much faster if they're the first ones to offer up some of those solutions. So you might have something that's going to either kind of take that to the next level, or maybe you're going to flip the script on that and switch it into another direction. But what happens is you go from harping on problems to becoming problem solvers way, way faster. And if they know that they only have 15 minutes or 20 minutes, then they're going to work harder to make sure that they move past the problem to try to get to the point where you are productively solving those problems. So the first, again, just to kind of go back, I always like to have you guys be able to write something down and be able to take something away. So creating that clarity in your day and making sure that you know what has to be done. If something is maybe not as important, maybe it's something that needs to move on. getting really respectful with your time and making sure that other people are respecting your time by offering time slots or having a time limit for how long you're going to have conversations with someone. The next thing is about saying no. Sometimes we have all good intentions to go have a social hour, a lunch, a coffee with a friend, something that might not be the best time for you, but it's something that you feel obligated to do, or it just sounded nice at the time and you feel bad now having to kind of take it back. And so, one thing I would say, and I'm giving you permission, is to say, today's not a good day, or I'm so sorry, but I really thought that this was going to be a great time for me to be able to just meet with you or hang out, but I find that my day is getting a little bit more packed than I expected. And would you mind if we reschedule? I'd really like to know that when I'm with you, I'm able to give you the attention you deserve, right? So it doesn't have to be a negative thing, and certainly don't cancel in a negative kind of way where now all of a sudden you're somebody who, is always canceling plans, or, you're not reliable in what you say you're gonna do. But there are some times where you need to give yourself permission that if it's not a good day, it's not a good day. And be okay with that. And I assure you that if this is somebody who is seeing you because they love you and they want to spend time with you and catch up with you, they're gonna understand, especially if you tell them that you don't want to be disrespectful by being there in a state of mind where you're worried about all the other things that are going on in your day. So, be okay with saying no when no is what you need to say. And lastly, I guess the best thing that I would say on top of everything is, just getting a little bit selfish with things that are important to you, and making sure that those are rising to have priority and have consistency in your life. So whatever those things are and whatever time of day that they need to get in, carve those out on your calendar with non-negotiable. These are things that are happening. Schedule your other things around it and make sure that you make time for you, and whether that's you and your children, you and your husband, or just you and you alone, but or your partner, or whoever it is that you want to be spending your time with. But whatever that is, those selfish pieces of the puzzle, they're just as important as anything that you've got going on with business, or with just life in general, and tending to other people and serving other people with whatever it is that you do on a daily basis. So make sure that that is a piece of the puzzle as well. If that means that you've got to shut down or cut off during certain hours of the day, people will learn to get used to whatever it is you design as your boundaries. So you can do everything you want to do if you control how your day goes. Sometimes we don't have as much control as we would like, but on a day-to-day basis, you have a lot more control than you think you do. So what I do is I really look at some of the in-betweens in my day. And for somebody who might be juggling more entrepreneurial type of life, or having more than one job, or maybe you're juggling jobs and kids and some other aspects of life, learning how to use the pockets is also really helpful. So sometimes I find that I have a lunch hour or 45 minutes in between, a class and, a meeting, or whatever it may be. And in 45 minutes or in half an hour or an hour, you can get a lot done. So if you meal prep, if you, use a meal replacement, which I love, I bring shakes all the time, and I even have a blender at my desk, and I will, choose to not spend my time about my meals, but giving myself something healthy and allowing that hour to become an hour of productivity where I can shut my door and do something that might be about checking things off the list. Maybe it's appointments that you need to make. Maybe it's a call that you need to be on, or maybe it's just getting things set for whether it's, doctors or life things, or if it's business arranged, but, you can use that to actually put new things onto your calendar. So, carving out even the pockets of the day, or using your time in the car productively to make certain phone calls, or ones that don't necessarily need to have as much attention as you being sitting at a desk. The other thing that I also really find helpful is to, I just lost my train of thought, is, have to get back to that one. But anyway, I think you kind of get the gist. Yeah, I don't know where that one went. Anyway, here's the bottom line. Find your time of day to get started. Get clear. Energetically put your focus in the right place. Say no when you need to say no. Get selfish about your time and be respectful with your time, and teach other people to be respectful with their time. And things that have the ability to move them when you have to. Learn to show up on time. Learn to be present when you're there. And I assure you that the next thing you know, you're going to be like me. There is actually like this moment where I feel so proud because I hit my marks and I knew exactly where I was going to be, and I got there at exactly the right time with a minute to spare, with 5 minutes to spare. You will feel the celebration of just becoming a master of your time. So last question that I always get when I talk about my day and my time is, what time do you go to bed? And the answer is short and sweet. I go to bed at 10 o'clock. I am a brain of mashed potatoes by 9:30. I try very hard not to do anything after that time that requires me to be in full brain force, because I know I'm not going to be able to give anybody my best. By 10 o'clock, I'm in bed. By 10 after, I'm usually sound asleep. So, everybody's different. Everybody's biological clock is different. Everybody's brain works in different time. There's a great website where you can go, I think it's like Sleep Doctor, where you can go and kind of test who you are and where your best hours of the day are, so that you don't try to be me, you try to be the best version of you. And hopefully in the end, you'll find a way to really be able to add like those extras into your day in a way that makes you really feel like you're winning. I hope this was helpful. I hope you guys have a great week, and I will see you back here next time.